Go for
Stud,
it.
I love this. Chris Johnson, mainly because I've got him in 3 different leagues. Chris Johnson is my stud. He's averaged almost 6 yards a carry, and they're going against a Houston defense that's not exactly a world beater. It really looks good. Dud, Jamal Lewis versus Baltimore, I don't think so. Sleeper, and I've mentioned this before, Fred Taylor against the Indy defense with no Bob Sanders. I think Taylor will probably go for good yardage.
Let's take a phone call. Those are Mark's studs, duds, and sleepers for the week. 529-1450 is the phone number. Good morning. You're listening to Fantasy Football 101.
Hey, guys, as a second receiver, would you go with Jericho Cotchery, Vincent Jackson, or Roddy White?
I'll tell you what.
I was going to say Cotchery off the top of my head, but might want to go Vincent Jackson, too, this week.
Vincent Jackson scored more points so far this year.
Yeah, Vincent Jackson.
And New York and San Diego's playing each other.
Vincent Jackson's turning in. I think he's turning into a darn good receiver, and with Gates being not 100%, I think they're going to look to him a little bit more. You've got 3 good options. I think Roddy White's not a bad choice either, but if I had to pick one of the 3, I think I'd go Jackson.
It's tough. It's tough. It almost seems like, and this sounds crazy, it almost seems like the Jets' D looks better than San Diego's.
It has so far.
Who would have thought that coming into the season?
It has so far.
And Chris Chambers has 3 touchdowns in 2 games.
San Diego's in a must-win.
Yeah, that's
exactly right.
That's true. Not a bad problem to have. My vote is Cotchery, I guess.
You know what's going to happen. He's going to be watching that game, and he's going to be mad at somebody.
Yeah.
It's either going to be Vincent Jackson or Jericho Cotchery.
And when you get this kind of situation, you're in a good situation when you have 3 different options like that. So I don't think you're going to really be bad off no matter who you choose. So I just wish you luck.
All right, thanks.
Good luck to you.
Maybe just go Roddy White so you don't have an aneurysm during the Monday night game.
Well, then he's mad at us.
Right.
So the thing is, when I have a dilemma like that, I look to see who's the home team, and that usually will sway my decision. And San Diego's at home, and like the caller said, they're in a must-win situation.
529-1450 is the phone number. Eric, your studs, duds, and sleepers.
All right, studs. I like Anquan Bolden at Washington this week. Washington hasn't really looked like they can stop anybody. Anquan Bolden caught 3 touchdown passes that last week. Kurt Warner is obviously looking his way, so I like Anquan Bolden. Dud, I'm going to go for Braylon Edwards, even though it pains me to say that because he's on 2 of my teams. But, Baltimore's only let 84 yards receiving a game in the first 2 weeks, and Edwards is kind of hurt with a sore shoulder. Cleveland doesn't really look that good. And my sleeper, I like Matt Ryan, quarterback versus Kansas City.
Nice picks. Studs, duds, and sleepers from Eric. I'll give you mine right now. 529-1450 is the phone number. My studs this week, Giants all over the Bengals. Giants defense, that is. And just to go right along with that, duds, Carson Palmer. He's been one all year. Why not this week? And my sleeper, J.T. O'Sullivan. Yes, I'm a 49ers fan at heart, but I think he's due for a good week this week.
Yeah, I think the O'Sullivan pick I really like. I think he'll have a good game. The interesting thing, you mentioned Carson Palmer. Have you guys ever seen a player that's falling off the radar as quick as Palmer? 2 years ago, this guy was absolute gold. And now he can't throw for over 150, 200 yards a game. And I just don't know. I think you've got to get a different coach in that. That team's got enough talent still on the offensive side of the ball. They shouldn't be playing like this.
Well, I think they're having problems on both sides of football. I think that's where it starts, is defense. That team is brutal on defense, and the offense, they just have not found themselves last year and this year. Not at all.
I don't think Palmer's really looked like Carson Palmer since he went down with that knee injury in the playoffs a few years ago. I know he came back the year after that and had kind of a decent year, but remember it took him a while to shake off the rust. But then last season was disappointing. This season has just been awful. But I think you're right. I think it starts on the defensive end. I think they've been relying on their offense to win shootouts for too long, and now it's kind of catching up to them.
So there's 2 things I wanted to bring up real quick. One we haven't talked about is the Vikings have benched Tavarius Jackson and going with Gus Frerotte.
Oh, we did.
Now, what does this do? I think it opens up their passing possibilities, and Bernard Berrian, I think, is someone, if he's on a waiver wire now, he might be worth picking up as a number 3 guy because Frerotte will throw the ball downfield where Jackson couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. He really couldn't. And the second thing I want to bring up again is please go to the 1450 website and the FF101 part and check and I will update the site with injuries and that. It's a good place to go, and I know the other guys will be on periodically and put a blog on. So go to the website, and hopefully you'll find out something that might help you with your lineups.
SportsRadio1450.com is that website. You can always listen to us live there as well. 529-1450 is the phone number. Good morning. You're on Fantasy Football 101.
Yeah, do you think I should play LT this week? I've got LT, Sammy Morris, Ray Rice, and Fred No-Show Taylor. Which two should I play? I'll hang up and listen.
Okay, Taylor was my sleeper. I really like Taylor this week. He's got a good matchup against an Indianapolis defense that's pretty poor against the run, and they're missing Bob Sanders. I like him quite a bit. The Tomlinson thing, you've got to watch and see right up till game time what's going to be his situation. If not, then play Sammy Morris.
Well, they play the Monday night game, though. It's hard to.
That's one of the disadvantages when you're.
That's true. If you're able to.
It's tough. That's a tough one.
Never mind.
If you don't have Darren Sproles, or perhaps Thomas Jones or something, you can't really wait on LT. You have to know if you plug him in or not, and he is a game time decision. So, if it's me, I'm rolling the dice and I'm plugging LT in my lineup and hoping he goes out there and plays.
I think it's the same situation as Adrian Peterson. I'm playing him in one of my leagues. I'm fortunate enough where I can put in Michael Bush in my other league, so that's just the way it's going to be. Fantasy Football 101 on Sports Radio 1450. Done for week 3. Tune in again next week. We'll be back with you from 8 until 9 here on Sports Radio 1450. And write down the phone number 529-1450 or put it in your cell phone. Adam Stark, Eric Pedigo, Mark Graham, Nicorelli. Wink. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to Fantasy Football 101 on Sports Radio 1450. Class dismissed. Don't forget to tune in next week at 8 a.m. right here on Sports Radio 1450.
He's got blockers everywhere. At the 25, at the 20, at the 15, still on his feet. Go.